Welcome to Ultra Prime Selections Incorporated, your trusted partner in everyday essentials and preparedness. In partnership with the United Federation Alliance, we bring you this in-depth investigation into one of the most baffling mysteries of our time.
Let me calm those nerves. We have not seen anything unusual. We have not seen
For more
any unusual
on these
activity.
still unexplained drone sightings, let's bring in retired U.S. Army.
What began in the skies of New Jersey has now spread across North America. Advanced drones, exhibiting capabilities decades ahead of today's technology, are appearing over critical infrastructure, military bases, and civilian areas. Their origins, unknown. Their purpose, unclear. But the questions they raise impact all of us. Together, we'll explore the facts, investigate the theories, and ask the hard questions. Who is behind these drones? Are they a threat? And what does this mean for the future? Let's dive into the story of the mysterious drones. First, let's address the biggest question. What are these drones? Witnesses describe them as car-sized, capable of hovering for hours, and equipped with technology far beyond anything commercially available. They evade radar, operate silently, and can vanish without a trace. Are they surveillance tools, weapons, or something entirely different? And who controls them? Governments, rogue organizations, or someone or something else? These drones aren't just appearing randomly. Many sightings have been reported over critical infrastructure, nuclear power plants, military bases, and other sensitive sites. Are they gathering intelligence, testing defenses, or are they simply observing? Some experts suggest these could be part of a sophisticated espionage operation. Others argue that the patterns are too random for traditional surveillance, raising even more questions. Why haven't governments provided clear answers? Officials remain tight-lipped, citing national security concerns. But some speculate that the silence is to avoid public panic. After all, if these drones are as advanced as reports suggest, the implications could be alarming. And of course, the lack of transparency has fueled plenty of speculation online, ranging from alien motherships to secret government experiments. We're not saying it's aliens, but we're also not saying it's not aliens. Before we continue, let's watch some media coverage from today and this week to see what's being reported. We'll also take a look at some videos from other YouTube channels that might just be onto something as well.
A mystery in the skies.
7 right here. What the heck?
States across the Northeast reporting swarms of suspected drones appearing with no explanation.
They're just pacing back and forth, going very slow.
Hovering around densely populated residential areas, sensitive military installations, and even President-elect Trump's Bedminster Golf Club, where he lives.
This is the 12th drone that has come by from the same spot. There it is.
Some residents spooked.
These are big. You know, they're the size of small cars.
Officials in New Jersey demanding action from federal authorities, meeting with Homeland Security earlier this week.
It scares the bejesus out of me. You have to tell me, in this day and age, 2024, that somebody can be flying drones over northern New Jersey and we have no clue who it is, where they're coming from, or where they're landing? That's unacceptable.
A New Jersey legislator also in that meeting posting on X that the drones appear much larger than typical hobby drones, in some cases up to 6 feet. They often fly with their lights off, making them harder to detect. Between 4 to 180 sightings per day, most often between 5 and 11 p.m. The White House, FBI, and Homeland Security downplaying any potential threat.
We have no evidence at this time that the reported drone sightings pose a national security or a public safety threat, or have a foreign nexus.
The Biden administration saying many of the so-called drones appear to be manned aircraft operating lawfully. Many videos since debunked, a response that lawmakers say is not enough.
Come on out, Mr. Kirby, and let's go on out one night about 9:30, 10 o'clock. I'll go out behind my town hall, and you can count them with me all night.
The people of this city and state and region deserve answers of what the heck is going on.
In a strongly worded letter to the FBI, DHS, and FAA, senators from New York and New Jersey expressing urgent concern.
The lack of information is absolutely unacceptable.
All right. right, to discuss this, joining me now, New Jersey State Assemblyman Paul Kenitra. Thank you so much for being here. I know this has been an issue for you because the constituents are really upset about this and they're worried about it. We were just discussing in the break, you have learned something new about this. What can you tell us now?
So literally just before I came on, Naval Weapons Station Earl, which is where some very serious machinery and ordnance is based on, confirmed that unmanned aerial drones were above their critical airspace recently. And that's on the heels of coming out of my district, the Coast Guard cutter that was trailed by about 12 drones and was harassing their crew, and they confirmed that to us as well. So there's very real incidents of this occurring.
You are just getting this information now. This is new, and it's news to hear that information that there were, in fact, aerial drones, because we heard from, in a statement, DHS and the FBI saying, look, not to be worried about this, that they don't think that this poses a threat. And they were questioning whether or not people actually saw what they saw potentially, or if these were manned aircraft, potentially airplanes. So what does that make you think when you hear that and now you have this confirmation?
It's contradictory. I was just in a briefing at the Rock in New Jersey with 99 other legislators across the political spectrum where we heard directly from federal DHS and the colonel of our state police that they had indeed launched aircraft up, were hovering over one of these drones. It was at least 6 feet long, and they confirmed it. And we were talking about it in real time with DHS and about the equipment that they sent us to identify all that. So I don't know why the federal government on one side is also trying to diminish a lot of this, because yes, a lot of these are aircraft, are commercial flights, probably even the vast majority when you're getting thousands of tips on a line, but a lot of them are actually drones, and that's confirmed.
Have you seen them yourselves? And if you have seen them, what do they look like?
I went to do a news hit last night, and I left my district. There were 7 over the Manasquan Inlet, right in my hometown of Point Pleasant Beach, and they just were hovering over our Lake of the Lilies. It's unbelievable that we're a month in, mind you. The first sighting of this was November 18th. Our state police and DHS have confirmed that every single night since November 18th, there have been confirmed drone sightings, and you can tell that they're drones because everybody knows what a plane looks like and how it operates. They go left, they go right, they go up, they go down. It's a very serious thing that we don't know where they're coming from.
Do you think at this point, I mean, there's so much speculation from people, and because people are concerned, because people want to know the answers, do you think there needs to be a public hearing about what is going on and some answers given? And are you surprised that you haven't heard definitively where these are from, what they are, who's behind this?
Well, I feel that way, and I can tell you the most bipartisan thing ever is getting a bunch of Republicans and Democrats in a room together at the Rock where they all felt the same way about those concerns. So we're all pressing for more information, and quite frankly, there are many methods where you can take these down safely. My district has 30 miles of Jersey Shore coastline where you could take one down and not pose any risk to the public and actually get to the bottom of that. We sent a letter to DHS and to the White House the other day asking for just that, and I know a lot of my colleagues on both of the sides of the aisle are doing the exact same thing.
When you say take them down, are you talking about shooting them down? And couldn't that be done locally? Couldn't someone just say, hey, you know what, send out, the National Guard or send someone out and take one of these down so we know what this is and where it's from?
Shooting down literally and figuratively. If you interfere with the GPS, a lot of these drones have to land, right? And so we're calling for bringing them down, and we think that that's going to be the solution to everything.
Ultimately, do you think that because this has gone on for so long, you have seen them, many residents have been showing videos of them, does this put the government in a position of being distrusted even more, especially after the UFO thing where they're like, no, there's no unidentified flying objects for years and years and years, decades, and then saying, actually there are, we're not sure what they are. And now we have this incident where they're saying there is nothing to worry about at this point that we believe, and yet we don't know anything about them.
The nuances of how they're saying there's nothing to worry about are what you should worry about, right? It always says no known credible threat, right, things along those lines. But they also don't know that there's any guarantee of safety either. And we're not sitting out here talking about the fact that we're going to be under attack anytime soon or anything crazy like that. But is there a very real probability that this is a foreign adversary who's testing our defense capabilities for a month, mind you, and possibly surveilling critical infrastructure, which has been confirmed? And in our briefing, they said they were over Picatinny Arsenal. They said they were over Bedminster. They said they were over Naval Weapons Station Earl. And in my district, I have a National Guard facility that has thousands of law enforcement going through there. They need to get on the same page because clearly their institutions are confirming that these sightings are occurring, and then they're trying to come out in a public way and diminish it, and that's losing trust with the American people.
And you just made some news this morning. Again, tell me what you learned about these drones from a very well-trusted institution.
Naval Weapons Station Earl confirmed this morning that there were unmanned aerial drones above their facilities, and that's a fact. And we were told in our briefing that they were over Picatinny Arsenal as well just a couple days ago.
All right, Assemblyman Paul Canitra, thank you so much for bringing that to us, and hopefully you get some answers, and we all do.
Thanks for looking into it, sir.
Appreciate it.
For more on these still unexplained drone sightings, let's bring in retired U.S. Army Colonel Joe Bacino. Joe, you were a spokesman for CENTCOM, right? I mean, if the military was somehow involved in flying these drones, shouldn't somebody come out and say so?
Somebody should say so. I think right now what you're seeing coming out of the Department of Defense is just not believable. There's two statements coming out of the Pentagon. One, we have no idea what these things are, and two, these things are not a threat. Okay, those two statements are in conflict with one another. If you know they're not a threat, then you know what they are.
Right, and you know, in these days when the Ukrainians and others have honed the ability to arm drones, to use high explosives on drones, the fact that these things are just flying willy-nilly around military bases in this country is not very comforting.
No, it's not. And if you think about, John, U.S. Northern Command, they're based in Colorado. This is the American command responsible for securing American airspace. They have AI-based intercept. They have observation based on commercial satellites all over the country. They have a $12 billion air defense system over the country. I just don't believe that they don't know what's flying for weeks and weeks over American airspace, over residential areas, over the Picatinny Arsenal, which is an American military research lab in New Jersey.
Yeah, it was disturbing enough when that Chinese spy balloon was, floating over our country for a week or so. But these are even more sophisticated and probably more troublesome just because, we heard one New Jersey senator say that New Jersey sent one of its choppers after the thing, and it turned off its lights and disappeared. That doesn't sound like it's operated by somebody friendly.
Right. It's clear here that the Pentagon has some information, and I think maybe we just keep in mind here that this is the same Pentagon that back in January lied about the location and condition of the U.S. Secretary of Defense, that lied about the conditions on the ground in Ukraine, that lied about this Chinese spy balloon for about a week. So I think that we can't really be comfortable with the information we're receiving here. I think, in my mind, it is unlikely that this is coming from overseas. I think given the size of these drones and given the likelihood that these are piloted by line of sight, it may be piloted from the water, but I don't think this is coming from hundreds of miles away. I just don't think drones of this size could come from hundreds of miles away because it's probably also powered by lithium batteries. I think this is coming somewhere close to the New Jersey, somewhere close to the coast.
The governor of New York has taken notice. This all started with ordinary citizens getting a little upset at what they were seeing, but now the governor has taken notice. Kathy Hochul put out a statement saying, "This has gone too far. I am calling on Congress to pass the Counter-UAS Authority Security, Safety, and Reauthorization Act. This bill would reform legal authorities to counter UAS and strengthen the FAA's oversight of drones, and would extend counter UAS activities to select state and local law enforcement agencies. The Biden administration must step in by directing additional federal law enforcement to New York and the surrounding region to ensure the safety of our critical infrastructure and our people." It's kind of interesting when, the governor of one of the most largest, most populous states in the country is kind of prodding the Biden administration to get involved here.
Right. Yeah, there's also things that we can do. We can jam these. We can bring these things down. We can use electronic means to jam these things. We can control the airspace. We can use electronic means via commercial satellites. We can use our AI-based targeting. So there's a range of options that we have here. And I just think we need to know why they're not being employed.
Well, and you suggest that the Pentagon knows more than it's letting on.
I really do. I really do. I just, it's not believable that we have no idea. That doesn't, given everything we have flying, everything that we have up in the air in terms of, commercial satellites, observation platforms, our own aircraft, our own radar detection, it's just not believable that we don't know. It's not, and this Pentagon has demonstrated that it is not to be believed on really critical issues. So I just think, where there's an absence of information, where there's a void of information, I think conspiracy will fill that and fear will fill that. Just tell the American people what's going on. What information do you?
Here is a 17-minute video from Mr. MBB 333, a YouTuber since 2008, and we are happy to say we've been a supporter of his channel since 2010.
Drama continues. Drone sighting temporarily shuts down runways at New York Airport. Article dated December 14th of 2024. That would be today over here at abcnews.com. Officials at Stewart International Airport, located roughly 60 miles north of New York, said they shut down their runways for an hour after the FAA alerted them that a drone was spotted in their area around 9:30 p.m. last night. A New Jersey sheriff is so fed up he sent his own drone up into the sky to check out these drones that are being spotted on a regular basis practically every night now for the last 3 weeks or so, and he was stunned by what he saw. More drones, planes, UFOs, Americans abuzz over mysterious New Jersey sightings, and the hysteria intensifies. And I've also put together a video of multiple sightings that have been shared with me here recently, and I've got many more to share with you guys. I'm working on an entire folder of drone sightings. Article over here at the NewYorkPost.com, dated December 14th of 2024, goes on to say the Ocean County Sheriff's Office sent its own industrial-grade drone into the air Thursday in a bid to follow one of 50 unmanned aerial vehicles that a local cop saw. Sheriff Michael Mastronardi said the officer alerted the state police, the FBI, the U.S. Coast Guard. Coast Guard officials then reported 13 drones with wingspans of 8 feet following one of their vessels. The mysterious drones, which gave off no heat like more typical versions, swiftly maneuvered out of their clutches. If this is not our military, then it's even more scary, McHugh says. These things look like they're fixed wing and have multiple lights. I'm not really sure how to process what I saw last night. And he goes on to say both the photographer and I were kind of stunned last night at what they saw in the sky. And in this video, we're going to take a look at multiple examples of video footage sent in here recently. I've received over 24 videos and photos of mysterious lights claiming to be drones in the nighttime sky, anywhere from New Jersey to Florida, New York, South Carolina. This video here was sent in by Joseph Yu from a couple of nights ago when he stepped outside and saw at least 2. You can see these bright green objects, decent size, probably at least 2, 3, maybe 4 miles away from his location, and there's smaller lights around the very obvious green lights in the nighttime sky. And as you're going to see, they don't remain stationary the entire length of the video. They do take off and start moving across the screen from left to right, implying that they do have some sort of a propulsion system. You can see a secondary light below the primary green light at the 5 o'clock position. Right now, they seem to be stationary. You can see a light back here. This is what obviously drew him to this location, were the bright green lights that definitely don't look like airplanes or helicopters. They're definitely not balloons. They're not making any noise. This has been quite a mystery here recently. I mean, you have a sheriff in New Jersey sending up his own drone. You can see this one up here at the top of the screen moving. That was one of the original green ones. There's the second one, and then the first one's right up here. It's already starting to move across the screen. But you've got a sheriff up here in New Jersey that sent up a drone, and they said they were quite stunned at the size of these things. These here appear to be pretty decent size as well. This video footage is also from New Jersey. This one up here is starting to move. Now he can't keep them both in the same field of view. See that, how it's moving right to left a little bit? And the first one's way over here to the right now. So if these were being influenced by the wind, they would both be moving, not just one. Here's the first one that he saw. You're going to be able to see it here in just a second. It's at the top of the screen. This is a third one, maybe a fourth one that entered the field of view. And here's the first green one right there. That's the first one he saw, first of two. The second one's still way back here. He can't keep them both in the field of view. And there's the second one, kind of holding steady. Now it's starting to move behind those tall trees. Now it's gaining speed, then it stops, gains speed and stops. So definitely not an airplane, definitely not a helicopter, or you would hear a lot of noise. So very mysterious indeed. No blinking lights, just a solid green light in the nighttime sky of mysterious origins. Where did these things come from? Where are they going? Video number 2 by Sauce out of Bristol, Tennessee from 12/13 of 2024 resembles what we just saw above New Jersey. However, this one has more colors than the lights in New Jersey. These are not only green, but you can see red and a little bit of purple. I zoomed in on the left in this version here. The original vertical videos on the right looks to be about the same size as the object from New Jersey, so they may very well be related, just in different locations. This video is out of Tennessee. I've got multiple videos out of Tennessee. This is video number 3 out of White Pine, Tennessee, from the same night, 12/13 of 2024. Video footage sent in by Justin when he noticed that light way off in the distance. Notice how it's cloudy. There's no stars and no planets visible in the nighttime sky, and there's no airplanes in the sky. This is very low to the ground, fairly decent size, probably 2 or 3 miles away from his location, maybe a little bit farther. It's difficult to say, but it definitely doesn't look like an airplane or a helicopter. It looks like what we just saw above New Jersey and the first video from Tennessee. This is another video from Tennessee on the same night. They may have seen the same thing. He did a really good job recording this object. Sometimes it's a little difficult to record this stuff on the fly at nighttime when you're outside and you're not expecting to see anything. Then all of a sudden something shows up and you grab your high-definition recording device. And in today's world, most people are carrying around a smartphone that has the capability to make very decent quality videos. And this is one of those examples of a good video taken at nighttime out of Tennessee of some sort of a mysterious object. I'm assuming that this is one of those mysterious drones that everybody's talking about. It seems like America's been invaded with drones here recently. Again, not only the East Coast, a lot of activity on the East Coast, yes, but the West Coast as well. And right here in Tennessee, so the central part of the country and along both coasts. I've got video footage that I'm working on right now out of Naples, Florida. Something appearing out over the ocean, 3 objects that appear to be drones. I'm working on several videos from several different locations. But this object here remained in the field of view for at least 2 minutes, 3 minutes, going behind the trees, remaining visible, very bright, decent size. Wasn't making any noise, and it was probably too far away to have heard anything anyway. I mean, that's a few miles away from his location. And right here you can see it disappear behind the tree line. Coming up is video number 4 out of Cocoa Beach, Florida. Video footage sent in by Kim Triplett. This is a night vision video. Kim spotted something off the east coast of Florida, visible from Cocoa Beach. This video has narration. Here we go.
They've been out here on June 18th doing these crazy geometric shapes. And then sometimes they just disappear altogether. Cocoa Beach, south of Seattle.
So once again, that was spotted off the east coast of Florida, Cocoa Beach, fairly good size, moving very slow through the nighttime sky. No blinking lights, not making any noise, apparently not an airplane, looks too big to be a satellite. Video number 5 from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Wendy shared this video of a mysterious light off the East Coast. A lot of activity along the East Coast. Again, not only the East, but the West Coast as well. Pilots reported seeing a mysterious UFO craft off the coast of Oregon about a week ago. They said they had never seen anything like what they saw. It was red. You can see this object here that does look like a drone. It's changing colors, remaining in the same position, not moving much, if any at all. Primarily green, but at times you can see it changes color to orange and bright red. Mysterious object, again, not an airplane or a helicopter. People are seeing stuff on a nightly basis. Again, we've got sheriffs sending up drones chasing these things. They've shut down airports in New York. I mean, this is becoming a really big deal, and people are very puzzled. They're wanting to know what these things are, what are they doing. There were people reporting, this is video number 6 in the collection of videos that I've worked on. I'm still working on many other videos, and I'll share them with you in the coming days. Video here sent in by Joey out of Deer Valley, Arizona. This is in super slow motion. This object was way far away from his location, but as you can see, that's not a star, that's not a planet. That looks like 2 objects. Maybe it's a drone, but it definitely wasn't an airplane or a helicopter. Some sort of a mysterious, unidentified object in the nighttime sky, visible from Deer Valley, Arizona, just a couple of nights ago. Once again, this is in super slow motion because it was so far away from his location, and without a tripod, it's hard to keep the camera stationary. Most of these videos you see, people are recording these things on the fly. They'll grab their phones and start recording. I've done it myself, see something completely unexpectedly, and you just grab your phone and start recording. Video number 7. This video here is from New Jersey. Also notice something similar. Look like 2 objects close together. Michael G. You can see a bright light and then a smaller bright light right next to it. See it? Just kind of sitting there in the sky. Not making any sound. Wasn't an airplane, wasn't a helicopter. Video number 8. Here we go. Kevin Langley out of Kingwood, Texas. Fiery orange object in the nighttime sky. This lasts way too long to be a Chinese lantern. It goes over his house, and as you're going to see, this thing was a long ways away from his location. I agree, it looks like a classic Chinese lantern, but it's lasting way too long, as you're going to see. That was video number 1. Look at how far away that thing was. Just kept going and going and going and going. I mean, this thing was large. It was very obvious in the nighttime sky. It does kind of resemble a Chinese lantern, but I don't think it was, because when you see those in the nighttime sky, they're very flimsy, and this good of a view, you would notice it wobbling and teetering around in the nighttime sky. This is very stable. It's solid. It's moving at a pretty good clip. Doesn't appear to be at the mercy of the wind, because again, if it was at the mercy of the wind, you would notice it wobbling through the sky. That's one thing I've noticed about Chinese lanterns. They're very wobbly. Video number 9. I've got dozens to share with you guys. Kevin out of Westfield, New Jersey. Check this out. 12/12 of 2024. Looked up and saw this in the nighttime sky just a couple of nights ago. This thing was huge. Look at that. He says that's definitely a drone. Wasn't making any noise, no blinking lights, wasn't a helicopter, wasn't an airplane.
Look at the size. That's huge.
That is huge. That's a big one. That's one of the biggest ones I've seen. Great catch. Wow. People in northern New Jersey, what's going on up there? I mean, the sheriff's up there chasing these things with their own drone. These things closing down airports. There's a lot of hype right now around these drones. People are wanting to know, where are these things coming from? What are they doing? Tony Jeanette out of Brooklyn, New York, 12/12 of 2024, looked up and saw that in the nighttime sky. Wasn't an airplane, wasn't a helicopter. And he was under the impression that was another drone visible from New York. Buckeye, Arizona, Anita, 12/13 of 2024, 7:37 p.m. Looked up and saw these lights in the nighttime sky. Looks like one of those big drones out here above northern Arizona. Are you serious right now? Check this out. That doesn't look like an airplane. I zoomed in on the left. Over on the right's the original vertical video, and it looked like two big round lights next to each other, obviously leaving some sort of a trail in the nighttime sky. That's what they were really drawn to, was the very long trail in the nighttime sky. And again, the original on the right, I zoomed in on the left, you can see what looked like two round lights. And here's another one going across the sky more horizontally. The first one appeared to be going almost vertical through the sky. Just a mysterious night in Buckeye, Arizona. Mysterious lights galore. Here's another video. Video number 12. Guys, I've got probably 30 or 40 videos I'm working on. Morristown, New Jersey. Maximilian, 12/5 of 2024, 8:53 p.m. Driving down the road. Looked up and saw this huge light. This looks like the big drone that we just saw moving through the nighttime sky. He managed to record this as he was driving down the freeway. And you're going to see a road sign right up here on the right that says Morristown. And I checked it out on Google Earth, and that's Morristown, New Jersey. So here's yet another big drone above New Jersey. Right here's the road sign. Right there it says Morristown on the 287. Big drone above northern New Jersey. These things are the real deal. I mean, when you've got the sheriff out chasing these things around and they're shutting down airports, at least temporarily, that happened last night because a drone was spotted above the airport. So just to be on the safe side, they shut the airport down for just over 30 minutes. This one was recorded from a car driving down the freeway. Just an incredible video. They kept the camera very steady. That's not a reflection. That's definitely something large in the sky that doesn't look like an airplane and doesn't look like a helicopter. Guys, I've got many more videos to share with you guys. I'm working on so many more. I've got footage out of Michigan, Indiana, more from New Jersey, all across the country, to be honest with you. Mysterious objects in the nighttime sky that appear to be drones. More drone activity continues, closing down airports, and we have a New Jersey sheriff that's chasing these things through the nighttime sky. Thanks for watching. Have a super day, and be safe out there.
Don't forget to visit his channel, like and subscribe, as he has great content and lots of information. Now here is another video made by the Omar Gosh Vlogs, another YouTuber, and although we have recently just found his YouTube channel, here is some of his great content.
Are people really seeing something that our government cannot identify?
From some other species from another planet.
What I saw was more sophisticated than I ever imagined.
There were 50 that were coming off the ocean.
This camera is gonna capture it.
All right, fam, that is not the moon.
Moving at extreme speed.
What is that thing?
It is so cold outside, like my dog doesn't even want to go outside.
Is it cold out there?
Beautiful blue skies here in New Jersey. It's cold. Boy, I look rough. Yeah. So most of the people that have been documenting these drones, or they're calling them drones, I'm calling them UAPs because that's what they are. We don't know what they are. So how can they know that they're drones? Because maybe they are sounding like drones. I mean, I've never seen a drone like this in my life, especially one that can have so much range for several hours at a time. I mean, unless these things are solar powered, they have to be receiving some sort of fuel to be in the skies for as long as they are. I was just watching a video this morning of a pilot witnessing one of these things out in Oregon.
We're seeing 3 or 4 targets Yeah, there's all altitudes, up and down. It's pretty crazy.
We're not seeing anything, getting lots of different reports out there. Some at 30, some all the way up to 50,000, about 3 or 4 different lights. Does it look like they're around your altitude now?
No, there's one way up high and one about my altitude. Moving in like a circle, like a corkscrew pattern. Just had another one show up about my 1 o'clock, about 1,000 feet high, zipping towards us and then back out towards the ocean. And red in color, moving it.
Roger. You are cleared to maneuver as necessary left and right to avoid the UFO out there.
So a lot of people that have been coming up with this footage of these UAPs or drones, most of them are using their phones, and I mean, I don't blame them. That's like the best camera that you can possibly use right now. The camera that I brought with me, and this is the camera that I use a lot in like my casino videos. I use them even on my like ghost hunting videos. It's the DJI Pocket 3. This does not have a zoom on it though. It has very stable footage. It's good in the dark, but it is not good for zoom. I do have like a $4,000 full frame sensor camera that is good in low light, like really good. This is good in low light too, if I had a zoom. But the problem with them full frame sensor cameras is you need a very expensive lens to attach to it that can show far away. One thing that I don't understand, and someone did bring a valid point, like in World War II, they had stuff flying in the skies and they shine these super bright beams of light into the sky. We're in 2024. Why won't they shine super bright lights into the sky? I may have the mystery solved when it comes to what this drone situation or UAP situation might be. There's all sorts of theories, and this one is possibly at the top of my list. I may make a separate video just based off of that. I'm here in front of Best Buy. I'm going to buy a super zoom camera. It's definitely going to be better and have more of a zoom capability than an iPhone or Android phone. Luna, you're going to have to stay in here and hold down the mothership. I think Luna's mad at me. I can't bring you into Best Buy, though. I don't think they allow dogs. No way. I could bring Luna in here? Slight change of plan. I'm bringing Luna. All right, let's go. I'm actually using a rope for my jet ski because I couldn't find Luna's leash. No doing caca in here, okay? I never brought in a dog to Best Buy. Sorry. Why are you barking? Who's that, Luna? Come on. No. All right, so this is the same drone that I got. Pretty awesome drone, by the way. And look, that's my camera, too. In case you're wondering how much it costs, which I think is a great price for what you get, and it's very compact. So if you like a camera, you got to give them a piece of paper. It kind of reminds me of Toys R Us back in the days. This is all they got at Best Buy. Come on, Best Buy. 16x digital zoom. Oh gosh, these cameras are awful. I don't see anything that's even worth getting, to be honest. That is the coolest monitor I've ever seen. What's it, LG? They have every freaking wireless microphone. I mean, so many microphones for cameras, but they don't have cameras. So, see that? 18 to 150 millimeter focal length. 18 is the widest point, 150 is the zoom on it. That's actually pretty decent, but if we're trying to see into the stars, we need something like 600 plus millimeter, and that's like nowhere. That was a ginormous fail. I may not be getting a camera at all. Might have to work with what I got, which is an iPhone and my Pocket 3. None of these have really good zoom. I'm gonna try a couple other Best Buys before it starts getting dark. All right, so I'm at Best Buy number 2. This one looks a little bit more promising because it's a little bit larger. I am so glad that I didn't give up, because most people would be like, I'm not going to another one. I'll just use my iPhone. There's nothing wrong with that. I might use my iPhone here and there, but this is what I'm talking about. Like a bridge camera. This is a Panasonic FC80D, and this has a focal length of 60x times, 1200 millimeter focal length. Unlike this one, it's 4K, so it's gonna have even more quality. Just wanna give you the rundown on lenses. This is only a 200 millimeter telephoto. I mean, you're gonna get greater quality, but $1,900. Now look at this one. That's the same thing, but a little bit better glass, $2,800. What the heck? Are you serious? Okay, so this is the camera I have, or one of them that I have, and I paid almost $4,000 for this same camera a year ago. And look, $2,000, and that's just for the camera without any lens. All right, we scored pretty good at that Best Buy. This is a pretty decent camera. It's not something that I would regularly film with. I mean, it's pretty basic. Doesn't even have a flip out screen, but it's got that massive built-in 1200 millimeter lens, and that's what we need to catch these guys. And this is going to be slightly better than anyone's iPhone. Another thing I got to, just in case, is a second drone. I got totally clickbaited though. There was a little sign that said $69, and I ended up paying 200 bucks for this. Still a lot cheaper than my actual drone. I think my drone's like $1,200. If we're dealing with something intelligent that does not like my drone in the air, and it wants to zap my $1,200 drone out of the air, I'd rather it be the $200 one. And plus, this one might have less restrictions for flying because it's more of a toy. Also got an extra SD card. I mean, we are not playing around, folks. Whoa, look at all this traffic. And I think I'm in Randolph. It's in Morris County. This is kind of a hot spot for these drones or UAPs. Check out that place and let them know that Omar sent you. El Parche. If I get to see one of these drones again in person, this camera is gonna capture it, and it's gonna capture it clear. Let me demonstrate. All right, so this is the moon, and that's about as far as I can go with my zoom. I'm using an iPhone 14 Pro, by the way, okay? Now, let me show you what this camera looks like. All right, so this thing is not the best in low light, but there's the same shot of the moon. Now watch this. Whoa, that's insane. All right, yeah. Look how far away we are. Look at this. We're so far away. I see something up there. Oh, dang, look, it's the triangular lights too. All right, there we go. What is that? What is that thing? Oh, it just disappeared. Wait, where'd it go? All right, I caught something. All right, where'd it go? They're doing it again. Oh no, maybe that was an airplane. Yo, my iPhone's like glitching out. What the heck? My iPhone's never done this before. Okay, so one thing I'm noticing about the area that I'm in right now, which makes perfect sense as to why there is a lot of sightings of these drones, quote unquote, it's a mountainous area and it overlooks, I mean, it doesn't overlook, but it's not far from the water. So, I mean, like right now my ears are popping. So just to give you an idea, oh, I think I see something in the sky up there. What is that? Okay, that's not an airplane. Okay, I am using my Pocket 3 now, and just want to show you where I'm at. I'm at this field right here. We aren't far from Morristown. There's Morristown right there, and there's Staten Island. This is where I'm staying. I'm staying over here somewhere, right across from Manhattan. I mean, you got everything here. Figured this be a great place to kind of hide out and see if we can observe the skies there. But I am doing some driving around and observing everything. Right now I'm just kind of stationary looking at the skies, and this would be probably a good place to look too in Morristown because it's very dark here and the sky's pretty clear. On X right now, just kind of looking at videos that people have posted, and this thing is like shooting. Chris from Massachusetts shared this. As shared by a resident in Montville, New Jersey, how can the government say there is nothing to see here, yet it appears that this object is shooting at something on the ground? Is that a helicopter? Like a military helicopter shooting? Maybe it's shooting at these drones? Now this is one that a lot of you have probably seen. It's like a time lapse of these UAPs or drones.
Look at that. Look at that.
That's pretty weird.
He is spraying the sky again. Bro, this is f***ing crazy, man.
Okay, so this is something that I saw on my friend Casper Sight's channel. If you don't know who he is, go check him out. Let him know that Omar sent you.
They're spraying the skies.
He was sharing this very same video that just came out today. And it's this drone spraying something. It looks like it's dropping some sort of that, or maybe it's coming up from the water. And that's like water that's coming up from the...
Look, he just sprayed that.
The object, this UFO. Now this is somebody on an airplane sharing one of these drones like up close. Now first of all, if you've ever been on an airplane before, if you've ever seen another airplane, it's very far away. They don't fly anywhere close to each other. Like, why is this flying object or whatever it is? I mean, if it was one of ours, it would not be flying that close to a commercial airline. So I went ahead and left that area because yes, it was dark there and I was up on the mountain. However, there was a lot of trees that were surrounding me, and every time I saw something or I tried to point my camera at it, it would disappear. And I'm thinking maybe it's disappearing because I'm running into the trees after, but I don't know, it's just kind of weird. It just goes completely dark. I don't know if it's me with the camera, but I'm trying to find somewhere in this actual area that's open and there's not a lot of trees. And that's pretty hard to find right now. I don't know if that's a helicopter. Gosh, of course I gotta be driving when I'm seeing these things. Wish I had somebody to drive with me. Oh wow, I see it. I see something else. See, I'm trying to distinguish the difference between like airplanes and helicopters and these things. And so far, like what I've seen is a little bit closer to the ground. And then I've seen things that are really, really, really far away that are just hovering. And I have seen that. That's one right there. It almost looks like a star. Found a really good place over a lake. And we're in Morristown still. Freezing cold outside, by the way. Luna needed to go to the bathroom. All right, this is a really good area to see these UAPs. And I ain't gonna lie, I see a lot flying around, but it's hard to tell what's what. I mean, everything could be an airplane. I mean, who knows? I'm just keeping an eye on things that are a little out of place. But if these things aren't from this world, who knows if they've already figured it out that we're onto them and they're completely disguised now as airplanes. I mean, only the government's going to know at that point because their radar is not going to be picking it up. Oh, that's a beautiful area over there. All right, I did bring my super zoom camera. Just a second ago, I saw like maybe 5 or 6 things flying over us. But I'm pretty sure they're all airplanes, like from what I'm seeing. I'm looking for low flying aircraft like I saw earlier. All right, I hear geese like freaking out over here. All right. Not sure if that's an airplane or not. Zoom in a little bit more. This is actually a little closer to the ground. Oh wow, it just disappeared. Just like that. Something over there too, but I think that's a star. That one's just stationary. Oh, that is that. Wait, what is that? All right, fam, that is not the moon. Not the moon. All right, so there's the moon right there. Whatever this is in the distance. All right, fam, so I was zoomed in to whatever this is earlier with my camera that has a little bit more range on it, and it just started moving. And now it's actually moving. That looks literally just like a ball. That doesn't even look like an airplane. What the heck? Looks like a star just moving. Like, is that a satellite? Okay, just to give you an idea, like that is an airplane. Okay, I believe it's an airplane. Okay, I'm not 100% that what we were looking at was UAPs. I still think our best bet is to go by the ocean because supposedly these things are coming in and out of the ocean. Listen to this. And supposedly this was an officer. He said that he saw 50 drones coming off the ocean.
Is this some contagious mass hysteria? Or are people really seeing something that our government cannot identify? Our own Rich McHugh went out drone hunting in New Jersey. He did not come back empty-handed. Rich, tell us what you saw.
People are seeing things. I'm seeing things.
Hi, Elizabeth. Well, I got to be honest here. You know, when this story first came out a few weeks ago, as a resident of New Jersey, as a journalist, I didn't pay it much credence. I thought it would turn out to be a bunch of pranksters and this would all be over by now. The experience I had last night, however, changed the way I feel about this story completely. What I saw was more sophisticated than I ever imagined. Take a look.
This was filmed just a few hours ago.
2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 lights, 6 lights.
Wait, that looks like an airplane.
Oh, what was I seeing? We're here in central Jersey. We've been looking, seen about 40 or 50 of these drones. In fact, there's one over my shoulder right there. One after another, these drones appeared in the night sky. If you look real close, they look like fixed-wing aircraft, about 8 to 10 feet wide, colorful, white blinking lights.
That is not a plane.
Definitely not an airplane, but what was it? Hours earlier, I was invited to join the Ocean County Sheriff Department.
Look at that drone.
They launched their own drones to see if they could intercept the mysterious aircraft New Jersey residents have been reporting in recent weeks. The department says these mystery drones evade detection because they don't give off heat like regular drones. Why do you think that is?
Wow, that thing has a thermal camera on it.
You know, it's not something that we've had our hands on. It's not something that we've experienced.
Wow. Something they hadn't experienced until now. One of their officers called 911 after seeing 50 of them come off the ocean.
Could you imagine a police officer dialing 911?
50 that came off the ocean.
50?
50. That was my reaction also. There were 50 that were coming off the ocean.
And this is a sworn officer?
Sworn officer, yes. We contacted state police, we contacted the FBI, we contacted the Coast Guard, at which point the Coast Guard went out with their boat, and they reported seeing 13 following their boat, and then the Coast Guard also advised that they went over them about 300 feet and had a wingspan of about 8 feet.
I see one right here. Did I see the same thing that officer saw? I'm still not sure. What I can show you is this video. What I can tell you is I've never seen anything like it before. Wow. And more than a month since these reports started, the federal government doesn't know what they are either. What's your message to the White House?
My message is come to the Jersey Shore. I know it's wintertime, but come see what we see, and then, you know, maybe have a better appreciation for why our residents are concerned.
You know, the Ocean County Sheriff, that drone unit, they have an industrial grade drone. They put it up. They were tracking one of these drones, Elizabeth, and they said this thing easily evaded them, disappeared out of thin air.
That's like what happened to us.
If this is not our military, then it's even more scary, and we need.
Like every time I try to zoom into it, it like disappears. Did it in broad daylight too. James shared this with me, and it seems pretty interesting. So check this out. This was from an anonymous person, but it says, drone mystery solved. The FAA Reauthorization Act of 2018 expires on December 20th of this year. So the federal government is literally using a terrorism, I don't know how to say that word, against you to manipulate Congress into passing the new HR 8610 Counter-UAS Authority, Security, Safety, and Reauthorization Act of 2024, which will include appropriations of enhanced government powers to control you. And they're even going so far as to use it to push for acts of war against other countries. There's many organizations. You got the FAA, you got the FBI, you got the CIA. I mean, so many different organizations within the government. What if there's a certain government that is doing this, aka the FAA? And they're wanting to push this to pass certain acts. I don't know. Take that with a grain of salt. I'm having an open mind when it comes to this. And I'm not ruling out aliens either. You could call me crazy. tinfoil hat guy, but hear me out on this. And I was watching my boy Casper Site. He released a video today. He's been releasing videos just about every day on these New Jersey drone things. So he was mentioning in his video earlier today, let's just say you and I had the technology to go visit other planets, which we kind of do, but I'm talking about like, you know, far beyond our solar system. And once we reach those planets with life, we had also the technology to kind of blend in with theirs. I mean, we're going to kind of freak them out if we show off our ships. Like, what if their ships are way different? Marty McFly in Back to the Future, when he goes back to the past, he doesn't go back to the past in his like future wear. He's going back dressed as somebody from that time. Why? Because he would stand out like a sore thumb. He wouldn't fit in. Perhaps that's what's going on here, is you have this life visiting us, and they're kind of letting us know that we're here. I mean, since the 1930s, there have been sightings, and I mean, people just been calling it fairy tales. Here's the thing, whether or not it's another country, or if it's aliens or whatever it is, if they wanted to harm us, I believe they would have already. All right, as I'm talking, there's something in the air, of course. That's flying pretty low. That's not an airplane. Another theory that I have is Project Bluebeam. And if you don't know what that is, you know what? I'm going to play a little video for you. My boy James sent this to me. The name of this video is called New Information, What the Media Isn't Telling You About Project Bluebeam.
I'm sure you've all heard about Project Bluebeam. If you look it up online, Wikipedia will tell you it's a conspiracy theory that was popularized by Serge Monast in the 90s. Most newspapers will tell you it's the most dangerous conspiracy theory ever. But what exactly is it? Well, in essence, it's a project run by globalists who plan on conducting a massive false flag operation. This false flag operation will involve a fake alien invasion that will help these globalists establish a new world order. Now I know some of you might be skeptical of how someone can just fake an alien invasion. Well, my friends, here I would like you to go back and watch this video where I show you how the CIA was ready to conduct such a false flag operation all the way back in the 1960s. And in the last 6 decades since then, we've taken some huge technological leaps, which means creating alien simulations is no longer a pipe dream. Now, even though most online sources credit Serge Monast for Project Bluebeam, I believe the first guy to bring attention to this scary theory was none other than our former president, Ronald Reagan. While the liberal media makes fun of him for talking about alien...
Here's the thing about these presidents, like, they are informed about things that we aren't, or that we have knowledge about.
Same thing on 3 different occasions.
I couldn't help at one point in my discussions privately with General Secretary Gorbachev, when you stop to think that we're all God's children wherever we may live in the world, I couldn't help but say to him, just think how easy his task and mine might be in these meetings that we held if suddenly there was a threat to this world from some other species from another planet.
Why would he say that?
Outside in the universe.
Why would he say that?
We'd forget all the little local differences that we have between our countries, and we would find out once and for all that we really are all human beings here on this earth together.
Well, maybe that's why.
Well, I don't suppose we can wait for some alien race to come down and threaten us, but I think that between us we can bring about that realization. In our obsession with antagonisms of the moment, we often forget how much unites all the members of humanity.
It is a completely different
Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound.
What?
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
He knew something.
And yet I ask you, is not an alien force already among us? What could be more alien to the universal aspirations of our peoples than war and the threat of war?
One world government, maybe?
But I've often wondered, what if all of us in the world discovered that we were threatened by a power from outer space, from another
He said
planet.
it again. This is a completely different
Wouldn't
time.
we all of a sudden find that we didn't have
Good
any
video
differences
by
between us at all? We were
Biatch.
all human beings, citizens of the world, and wouldn't we come together to fight that particular threat?
Now, the question is, why would he try to give us hints about the actions of a shadow organization? Well, it's because President Ronald Reagan was always at odds with the deep state. In a lot of ways, he was like Donald Trump. He won with overwhelming support, was extremely popular, and didn't care much about the standard political norms. He also nearly lost his life because of his policies. Now, why do I think that these drones are not alien crafts? Well, the answer is actually kind of simple. If you analyze any of these videos, it becomes clear that these flying objects loosely resemble drones used by our military and other three-letter agencies.
Seen one like that.
I mean, just look at this super viral clip.
That looks so weird.
We shouldn't be outside for this.
I think we can safely say it's a drone that looks like a plane. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that these are ordinary drones. Most witness testimonies confirm that these are some of the most sophisticated flying objects we have ever seen.
A friend of mine on here that lives in New Jersey last night, which let's to keep in mind is December 7th, saw 3 very large drones sitting above his home. And when he decided to use his drone to get a closer look, something really weird happened. As he flew his drone up towards these other 3 drones, he stated that these drones made absolutely no noise. But then he stated that when his drone got closer, that his drone was taken offline, with what he stated seemed to be some kind of EMP. But this is where it gets weird. His drone fell straight from the sky, and as far as
EMP's electromagnetic pulse
on that drone. He described these drones as being as big as a car and having one large blinking light on them. But the craziest part about it is the fact that he released a video of them hovering above his house prior to releasing his drone to go up to get a closer look, right? And now his account has actually ended up being banned. Do keep in mind he had 89,000 followers. And some of you probably saw that video.
And even when observed with powerful radars, these drones seem to have an energy shield surrounding them.
Whoa.
Check this thing out.
Yo.
Anytime.
Okay, when I zoomed into this bright light, that's what it looked like. It looked just like that.
This is what I get. It has a round, like, shield.
It looks
around
like
it.
some sort of, like, shield.
Now,
I thought it was the moon, but it wasn't.
Do you think the American Armed Forces and our dozens of agencies will ever let this incursion continue without ever shooting one of these drones down? Of course not.
Okay, so here, check this out. And this is probably one of the reasons why they're not shooting them out of the ground. Okay, first of all, if it was Project Bluebeam, if it was some sort of fake projection, there's nothing to shoot. People here in New Jersey, from what I hear locally, they're ready to start shooting these things down themselves. It's been all over the news. But here's the thing. We're in one of those states, just like New York, just like some other places like California, where there's not really a whole lot of Americans. I mean, there are, but not like where I'm from. In Florida, everybody's got guns. Don't ever break into somebody's house in Florida because you will find out the hard way. In New York, for you to have a concealed weapons permit, you have to go through this process of letting the government know that you should have it and why you should have it. Maybe because you're a jewelry store owner, or maybe you're some sort of celebrity that fears for your life. It has to be, you can't just go to the store and, you know, because you've never committed a felony, get a gun. So what I'm trying to say is that, yeah, there's people out here with guns, but I mean, first of all, if you're wanting to shoot one of these things down, you're going to need to have, like, I mean, something with some range on it. You can't just shoot up in the air like that too. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's illegal. Before we conclude this video, we're going to go out to the ocean and see if we could see anything else flying around. I'm going to be covering this for the next couple of days. Make sure you have subscription notifications on so you don't miss a video. It's definitely a fun series that I'm adding to my channel. I am so hyped for this. I mean, just because of the mysteriousness behind it, not knowing, and of course wanting to get answers. Like, I myself, being all the way from Florida, like, I want answers myself. And I feel like being here is getting me close to those answers that I seek. And when I find something out, you're going to find something out. All right, so I figured out a way to completely eliminate the possibility of confusing these things for an airplane or a helicopter or whatever else. I don't know if they have this for Android, but they do have it for iPhone. And this is my location. This is exactly where I'm at right now. And somewhere, okay, back that way, you can see there is an airplane, a couple airplanes flying. Actually, it only shows one here. So maybe one of those is a drone. Not sure exactly what it is, but my app is showing me in real time that there are 2 airplanes in those skies, and I only see one on this app. Now, if you click on this, it tells you exactly what it is. That's a Brady Noble. Never heard of that. But it's going from Tampa to LaGuardia Airport in New York. So look at all these airplanes. Okay, maybe it's that one that we were seeing. Yeah, there is one coming a little closer to us, which is right there. Let me see if I could turn. Oh, actually, there's 2 of them. Oops. See, there's 2 airplanes right there, and you could see them exactly on the app, moving exactly the way they should. They just crossed over, just like so. So next time I see something in the air that's questionable, I'm gonna pull up this app, and I'm gonna see exactly what it is. There's a lot of stuff happening in our skies, okay? So of course, you might see something and be like, an airplane, is it a drone? If you see something, look, there's 2 things that way. One's moving pretty fast, going to the right. You know what? And I don't know why people are calling these things drones. How do they know? If they don't know what these things are, how do they know exactly that they're unmanned? We do know that there's drones that exist, or, you know, quadcopters, if you will, that are manned, and they are starting to little by little come out. I've seen them on TikTok. I've seen them on Instagram, here on YouTube. I've seen them. We can't really call them a drone. These things are 100% UFOs, or like people have said, UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomenon. Why? Because we don't know what they are. Okay, so I had to stay here kind of a hot minute charging my truck. While I was here, like a bunch, I mean a bunch of police officers, was it Hazlitt Police? They pull up to this Wawa, and maybe I should go in there and get a cup of coffee because they're all hanging out in there by the coffee. Young guys, really cool, very professional, you know, they're just enjoying their night. I'm gonna ask them, I'm like, hey, I got a YouTube channel, and I interview y'all. Actually, before I asked that question though, I was like, hey, y'all seeing any drones out there? And they all looked at each other and they were like, oh my God. Like, the overwhelming look on their face after I asked them this question was, I wish I would have recorded it, because they were like, man, we've been getting calls all the time. We're investigating them. We've been seeing them everywhere. One of the deputies even went as far as saying people are going to start shooting them down soon. And then, of course, another one chimed in and he was like, I think it's our government. But I asked him, I was like, hey, can I get y'all on an interview? And they were just like, oh yeah, hell yeah, I'll do an interview. But then they kind of looked at each other and were like, better not. And then the guy was like, oh, I totally would, but you know, I don't want my chief getting mad at me or whatnot. But then he was like, look, but I will tell you, because I know that you're doing a video or whatever, if you want to get a good view of these things, use the Flight Tracker app, which is the same app that I was telling you about a little bit ago. That way you can't confuse between the two. And that's what they're using. That's what the police are using to make sure these things are what they are, or what, you know, make sure they're not confused with an airplane or some other kind of aircraft. But he mentioned Ocean County. That's the video that I was showing you earlier. And there's cops seeing these things going into the ocean. There was 50 of them today reported. Oh my God, it's so cold out here. So it is midnight. I'm right by the ocean. There's the ocean right behind me. And I got a tip from one of the police officers that this is where they got some reports tonight. That's New York City. I believe to the left over there is Staten Island. Oh, poor Luna. I'm probably torturing her right now. Oh, my hands are so cold. So unfortunately, I don't see anything flying at all. Like, not even any airplanes. I don't think very many airplanes are flying anyways at midnight. I'm thinking that's probably why these UAPs are flying during certain hours. It's usually between 5 o'clock and 11 o'clock. And it's probably because most flights are grounded after that. You know, if they fly during those hours, they kind of blend in with all the air traffic. Not seeing an airplane. Oh yeah, I do see it. It's right over there. Oh my gosh, I just saw a shooting star. Make a wish, make a wish. Well, supposedly there's meteor showers tonight. And it makes sense because I saw a meteor yesterday right on the New Jersey Turnpike at approximately 9:25 p.m. Actually, I see, oh, right there. I saw another one. Oh my gosh. I mean, are they meteors? But yeah, I'm not really seeing any low-flying drones. I am going to keep my eye open for anything weird flying low. I am going to spend a couple days here in New Jersey bringing y'all any sort of news that I come across by locals. So if you happen to be in the New Jersey, New York area, or, you know, tri-state area, and you're seeing these things, I mean, it looks like they're spreading out. You got some really good footage. Maybe you're seeing these things constantly wherever you're at. Let me know. I'll come to you. I'd love to interview you. Just shoot me an email, theomargosh@gmail.com. So I'm going to get back in my warm truck because I can't even feel my fingers right now. And if I see something, I will let you know. Gotta go for now before we leave. Give me a kiss. Peace.
Don't forget to visit and subscribe to the Omar Gosh Vlogs. Now let's continue.
Here's what makes these drones so extraordinary. Extended hovering, times far exceeding current battery technology, advanced cloaking or stealth capabilities that allow them to evade detection, the ability to shut down and seemingly disappear when pursued. Are these drones dangerous? Well, that's the big question, isn't it? Their advanced capabilities certainly make them a potential threat, but without knowing who controls them or their true purpose, it's hard to say for sure. So who or what is behind these drones? Let's explore the leading theories. Espionage foreign adversaries might be testing the defenses of the United States and allied nations. Could these drones be part of an elaborate surveillance operation? Rogue technology? Some believe private corporations or rogue groups are experimenting with next-generation drones, but why test them over sensitive areas? Extraterrestrial origins? Yes, the UFO theory is gaining traction, especially given the drone's capabilities that seem to defy current human technology. So what's next? Will governments release more information to the public? Will we see new laws or defensive measures to address these drones? Or will the mystery continue to grow, leaving us with more questions than answers? At Ultra Prime Selections Inc., we're committed to helping you prepare for the unknown. Together with the United Federation Alliance, we'll keep asking the hard questions, because understanding these drones is just the beginning. The story of the mysterious drones continues. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments below and stay tuned for more. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to visit Ultra Prime Selections Inc. at www.ultraprimeselectionsinc.com. Your trusted partner in preparedness, and don't forget to visit and subscribe to the United Federation Alliance, a growing alliance to better humanity. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe to our channel. More to come soon.